What they're kind of showing to us, this one's even harder to see because it's kind of protected, but you see that cylinder that's up there, right?
Yeah.
That's the secondary mirror up there. So you can see how it's reflecting, well, at least back to me, it's reflecting the light right now.
Yeah, you can see it reflecting.
What happens is the light comes through, it's basically pointing in the direction that secondary is aiming, right? So it's pointing off to the left here for most of us. The light comes down through the structure there, strikes the primary mirror here, starts to get focused, and all the light that hits this primary mirror gets focused down to an area that small and bounces off the secondary mirror. That secondary mirror further condenses the light, and the light comes back through towards the primary, but you can see another cylinder. If they turn it just right, you can see another cylinder right in the center of the telescope. It's called a baffle. That cylinder protects any other light from getting in from the sides, but also directs the light right through a hole in the center of the telescope to the instruments which are attached to the very back of this white system back here, the support structure in the back of the telescope there. So that's called the Cassegrain focus, when you're directing the light right back through the middle. Smaller instruments that are small enough to be able to be supported right on the telescope itself can be put there. Say you have an instrument that's too large to be directed, too large to be put right on the back of the telescope. You have to use another type of focus, which we call a Naismith focus, where instead of allowing the light to go right through the middle of the telescope again, you put a third mirror on there called a tertiary mirror, which is basically a flat mirror that bounces the light off to the side, and you can direct it onto either of these two flat platforms that are on the side here. One almost right above us, which is moving away from us, and one on the opposite side, which is swinging around towards us. The big box right up there.
And it's black inside?
What's that?
The one that's black inside, that box?
The one that's black inside. It would go right through. You can see there's an area there where the light could go right through into that big box.
Okay.
That's coming around our way.
That'd be incredible.
Yeah. So those are for the bigger instruments. If there's something that's so big, some of the observatories have the ability to redirect the light down in the rooms, down in the basement, in order to collect light. Like the Keck observatories here. Like I mentioned earlier, they only planned on building one telescope to begin with. And they were planning on being done in 1992. In 1991, as they were building this telescope, they didn't have all the pieces of glass in place just yet. There are 36 total that are used right now. They only had 9 in place. They tested the telescope, and the images came out so much better than they expected. They immediately went back to the Keck Foundation and applied for more money to build an exact replica right next door. Because of that, because they built the exact same telescope, they got a duplicate of just a phenomenal telescope for only about 3/4 of the price, not even 3/4 of the price, because you didn't have to go into all the engineering feats that they had to go into to build this first telescope. So they shaved off almost $30 million by doing that. What they also decided